South Africa has been shaken to its political and diplomatic foundations by the arrest of Kid Mantashe, a veteran high-ranking official of the ANC, in an astonishing international affair that has caused outrage, ridicule, and institutionalized panic. The arrest at a prominent European airport has not only destroyed the facade of moral leadership long asserted by the ANC, but also driven President Cyril Ramaphosa's leadership into a crisis of credibility of unprecedented magnitude. The snapshots of Mantashe, a once respected pillar of the ruling party, handcuffed and taken away by foreign law enforcement officials, have become a symbol of a larger breakdown in moral leadership within the South African government. Global headlines have screamed with headlines such as "South African elite toppled overseas" and "The ANC scandal goes global." Channels like CNN, BBC, Al Jazeera, and France 24 broke the video on their fronts, while columnists across the world lamented the ANC's inability to keep its own house in order. Humiliation did not end there. Social media erupted into a satire, parody, and dark humor frenzy. Viral TikToks and Instagram reels ridiculed ANC leaders, with actors pretending to delete emails, shatter phones, or swallow flash drives in hysterical panic. Memes with the hashtag A and Mafia trended worldwide within hours, comparing the party to a luxury crime syndicate clad in Armani attire. As the gaffers rolled in online, diplomatic corridors seethed with heat. Several embassies in Pretoria recall South African officials for urgent clarifications. At least 3 foreign governments are re-examining bilateral cooperation pacts with South African organizations. According to Duro Leaks, they want to know how a man who was wanted for financial crimes was representing the country outside with impunity. One DIRCO source explained the diplomatic blowback accelerated as the European Union made a strongly worded communique referring to whether South Africa under the ANC still subscribed to the fundamental principles of good government, transparency, and norms of international law. Transparency International soon followed with its Regional Integrity Report, putting South Africa on increased corruption risk due to systemic impunity and poor institutional reactions to high-level crime. The real surprise, though, has been President Cyril Ramaphosa's mysterious absence from public life. The day before the president was set to make a statement on the diplomatic and political fallout from the Mantashe arrest, the presidency suddenly scrapped the address at short notice. It subsequently emerged that Ramaphosa had also withdrawn from a virtual G20 summit, citing unexpected domestic commitments. Since then, where the president is has been an object of national fascination and international curiosity. South Africans, both citizens and politicians in opposition, have cried out for an answer. Is the president hiding? Is he consulting lawyers? Is he trying to conceal his possible complicity or at least his advanced knowledge of Mantashe's illegal activities? The deafening silence. Political analyst Anchor Potiro on SABC News stated, his absence is not neutral. It's a message. The message is fear. Fear of being implicated. Fear of being exposed. Fear that the global community now sees the ANC not as liberators but as looters. Speculation has been further fueled by reports leaked which indicated that Ramaphosa had as early as last year been alerted to Mantashe's offshore financial transactions, such as irregularities picked up by South African Reserve Bank. Observers and foreign banking warnings that nothing was done has made many people think that a cover-up may have been attempted, if not worse, the idea of corruption having been institutionalized at the top of power. The impact has had a ripple effect on the ANC. Finance Minister Enoch Godwana was confronted by an irate diaspora audience at the Berlin Economic Forum, whose keynote address he cut short with chants of "arrest them all" and "Ramaphosa must speak." An eyewitness described on video how the shaken minister had to be led out by security as boos filled the auditorium. At a diplomatic luncheon in London, ANC MPs were greeted by protesters carrying placards reading, "The ANC is not South Africa and you betrayed Mandela." Similar demonstrations were held outside embassies in Canada, Australia, and Kenya, where South African diaspora members demanded a complete shake-up of the party's leadership. Within Latuli House, the atmosphere is panic-stricken, divided, and desperate. billed as emergency meetings by ANC insiders. These have degenerated into shouting affairs. One NEC member who spoke anonymously was quoted as saying, "The party is leaderless. The president is hiding. We have no strategy. The world is laughing at us and we brought this upon ourselves." Trying to do some damage control, NC Secretary-General Fel Malula conducted a TOR press conference in Johannesburg. But instead of transparency, Bola launched into a bizarre rant about a foreign plot and neo-colonial meddling, attempting to deflect blame away from the party. His performance, however, only made things worse. Political commentators widely mocked his remarks as delusional, while journalists in the room reportedly burst into laughter during his explanation. The picture of bumbling Bola struggling to come up with woolly answers has since become yet another meme to flood social media. Political pressure is building on the ANC to not just formally discipline Mantashe but also to come clean about who knew what and when. The Democratic Alliance has lodged an urgent motion in Parliament for an independent commission into Mantashe's foreign interactions with subpoena rights to question Ramaphosa and other high-ranking ANC leaders. The EFF has taken it a step further, demanding the president's immediate resignation and new elections to restore public confidence. This absence of accountability has left a void that opposition parties are fighting to occupy. In media interviews and public rallies, DA leader John Steenhuisen stated, "This is not just one man in handcuffs. This is about a criminal culture that has infected our government. South Africa deserves better. South Africa deserves leaders who do not run and hide when things fall apart." With every day of Ramaphosa silence, the political heat rises. Nationwide protests for this weekend are being planned by civic groups, student unions, and business coalitions calling for straight answers from the presidency. Some are warning that if Ramaphosa does not reappear soon with a plausible explanation, the internal struggle within the ANC could erupt into full-blown revolt. As the Globe observes, South Africa is at a crossroads in politics. The detention of Gid Mantashe tore the lid off a governing party that had been cited time and again for corruption but was never called to account. Ailing and mute, its credibility in shambles and its foreign supporters questioning their allegiance, the ANC is confronting judgment not seen since the apartheid era.